As of this morning, my YouTube channel has paid me over $800 this month. And I already know what some of you just thought because I used to think exactly the same thing. Only $800. That word only, I want to talk about that word today because that little word is quietly costing you way more than $800. And honestly, this video is not even about the $800. It is about something bigger. It is about why you are working more than you ever have, and your raise does not even cover what groceries went up. We are getting there, so stay with me. But first, the receipts. 6 months ago, I had a dead channel and $0. 24 hours after I got monetized, I took a screenshot of my first earning. It was $7.11. And I posted it proud, like it was a trophy, because it was. Here it is. Somebody looks at $7.11 and says, that is nothing. Somebody looks at $200 and says, it is only $200. And here's what I finally figured out, and it changed a lot for me. The word only is how we disrespect our own beginnings. And today I'm going to show you where that word comes from and the 4 moves that got me from 0 to this number while everybody else was still waiting to feel ready. Because here's what is really happening when we say only. We are not measuring the money. We are measuring ourselves against somebody else. Now think about who you watched this week. The woman with the beautiful studio, perfect lighting, perfect cuts, talking about her $10,000 month like it is Tuesday. What you are looking at is year 25. 25 years of practice, a production team, an editor, somebody handing her topics. And what do? We hold our shaky little day one next to that. And then we wonder why our $7.11, it feels like shame instead of a trophy. We are comparing our day one to somebody's year 25. And when your measuring stick is somebody's year 25, your own beginning will always look like nothing. And that is not math, that is a trap. And I fell in it with both feet. So let me show you where it started for me. So I'm telling you where it started for me because it did not start with YouTube. It started after Thanksgiving last year. I sat down and went over my numbers and all the odd jobs, all the hustling to pay the bills. And I had to face something that hurt a lot. I did everything right, the degrees, the jobs, all the steps that they told us. And after 30 years, financially, there was not that big of a difference. I was starting over again. And then something jumped out at me, and I need to give this its own moment because nobody is saying it on camera. We are doing more work for less money. I started working in this country in 1998. And when I put then next to now, it was plain as day. That is not a feeling, and it is not just me. Look at your own life. The raise does not even cover what groceries went up. More hours, less money, and the debt, it grows faster because everything costs more. That is the math that they do not put on a poster. Now, I'm not going to sit in that because sitting in it, it doesn't change anything. The moment I saw this clearly, it was the moment I got my power back. Because if the game is rigged like that, then playing it harder is never going to be the answer. And I said to myself, there has to be more than this. This cannot be it. Work, sleep, wake up, do it again. Until when? 65 years old? That cannot be the whole plan. And YouTube is something that had been sitting in the back of my mind for years. So why did I keep hesitating? That is the first move. And it starts with a confession about the money I wasted before I ever made a single dollar. Every single time I looked into rebooting my YouTube channel, the same thing happened. I would find the people teaching it, and then they all sounded exactly the same. And their course would start talking about an $800 camera and paying somebody $100 per video to edit them for you. $100 per video. Listen, I was not these people's audience. And maybe you have felt that too. You get excited, you look into it, and the price of entry that they describe, it tells you that this was never built for you. And I have to be honest about my own money here because I fell for that cycle more than once. Not with just YouTube, with online business in general. You know, you spend $2,000 on a course, and every module that you open is a new can of worms. So each module is basically its own course. And then you blink, 6 months are gone. The year is almost over, and you have nothing to show for it. Or you make a little something, but you never actually get ahead of what you spent because you break even, maybe, but profit, never. So last year, I made a vow with myself and then I said it out loud. I am not spending another dime. I am using what I already have. And here is what I already had. I had my phone. I had a $29 tripod that I had bought on Amazon for a different project. And I had some ring lights. They were sitting in my house. That is it. That is the studio that made this month's number for me. So write this down because it is your move number one. The gear was never the price of entry. The decision was use what you already have and let the channel earn its own upgrades later. Okay, so I had the phone and the tripod. Now comes the hard part, actually pressing the button. And I almost let the whole first day get away from me. January 1st, a holiday, I had committed to posting every single day for a year. And I was extremely nervous. And my exact thought was, how on earth am I going to come up with a topic every single day? And the whole day almost went by, almost. And I remember telling myself, you got to hit record, girl. You got to do it. And I need to tell you the real sentence in my head when I finally pressed that button, not the cleaned up version. The real one, it was, this is crazy. This is probably not going to work. But I refuse to be sitting here on January 1st of next year asking myself, what could have happened? Now, let me tell you why so many of us never press that button. It is because of what we watch all day online. Think about your feed. Everybody you see already arrived. The polished videos, the production teams, the person talking about their $10,000 months, their $8 million lunch. You are watching everybody's after all day long. And the before, when you actually stumble on somebody's messy little day one video, what do? You scroll right past it. It does not hold your attention because we are addicted to afters. And here is what that does to you without you even noticing. The after, it becomes your measuring stick. Somewhere deep down, you decide, when I start, it needs to look like that. Like thereafter. Like year 25. And nobody can start there. So you never start. And even when you do start, nobody warns you about the valley of despair. That stretch where the excitement wears off and reality shows up, where editing one video, it means hours of listening to your own voice. The dreaming phase, it skips right over the valley. So when the valley comes, you think something went wrong. Nothing went wrong. The valley is the road. So your move number 2, it's plain and simple. Start before you feel ready and start ugly on purpose. Your day one is not supposed to look like anybody's after. It is supposed to exist. And that is its whole job. And real quick, if pressing record is the exact wall that you are stuck at right now, I built a free little workbook for exactly that. It is called Press, Record, Ready. The link is right there in the description. Grab it and keep watching because I will tell you more at the end. Now, starting is not what almost killed my channel. What almost killed my channel, it came after, and it is the thing that I got the most wrong. What I got wrong in the early months was just one word: comparison. The person that I was learning from, clearly an experienced speaker. You can hear it. Years and years of talking for a living. And there I was, brand new on camera, hitting record and feeling disappointed because I did not sound like that. Instead of celebrating that I finally pressed record, I was grading my first video against somebody with decades of practice. That is not a fair fight. That was never going to be a fair fight. And then there is what we do to ourselves when we watch our own videos back. You know exactly what I mean. You watch it and then you start to pile on. I hate how I sound. I do not like how I look. I say too much. I am a terrible speaker. You are looking for everything that can possibly be wrong, and then you find it because you are your own worst critic with a searchlight. And here's what I do now instead. And this saved my channel. Watch the video once and pick one thing. One, not 10. If it is the ums, well, breathe easy because these days, with a click of a button, you remove all of them on your video. If you talk too fast, review your notes before you record. If you're tired, maybe stop recording at night and try recording during the morning instead. Because you only need one thing, 1% better for the next video. And that is the whole system. My first video are still up on this channel. Go look at them. They are rough and every one of them is 1% better than the last one. And that is how you get there. And now the deeper one, and I need you to really hear me on this one. There are a lot of people out there that are selling us confidence disguised as business smarts. Somebody says a big number and something in our brain says, ooh, they must be smart. They must have it all together. We connect money with intelligence, with character. And in our community, especially when they mix the dollar amounts with a little bit of religion, baby, they got us. And here's the damage. When you believe in their numbers that hard, you quietly start doubting your own abilities. You put them up on a pedestal and then you put yourself down, all in the same breath. So let me put things in perspective for you. Somebody having more resources than you does not make them smarter than you. And I will tell you something that I believe with my whole chest. If you had been handling the same resources that some of these people had, you probably would have done more with them. So if nobody ever told you there is nothing wrong with your beginning, let me be the one. There is nothing wrong with your beginning. Subscribe and stay with me because this channel is one long day one, filmed in public on purpose so that you can watch a before, become, and after in real time. That is the whole show and you belong here. Okay, moves 1, 2, and 3 are all in your head and your habits. Now, move 4 is about the clock because I already know what some of you are about to say. Webley, I do not have the time. And I'm going to say something with love, but I'm going to say it straight. No one is coming to save you. Nobody is going to knock on your door and hand you a free afternoon. The time has to be found and it is there. It is just not labeled. I remember listening to a podcast and I heard a guy whose channel took off. And you know what he did at the start? Because when he was realizing, he has 3 children, he didn't have time during the day. So he got up early before the children woke up and recorded before the school rush. That was his studio time. And it was stolen from the edge of the morning. And if you work all day, let me paint you a picture. You get one of those little tripods that folds like the one that I have. It fits in your purse and a little microphone that clips on your phone and you can put it on your shirt. You clip it on your shirt. And during your lunch break, you find a bench at the park near your job in a nice corner with some flowers in the background behind you. And then the sun is free lighting. It is one of the best natural lighting anyways. You sit down and in 15 minutes, you record your video. 15 minutes. You don't have to pause because that's why an editing software is there. And that's your whole lunch hour. You record and then you eat. And that is a channel right there. No studio, no permission, no perfect schedule. Just a woman who decided her 30 minutes belonged to her future instead of her phone scroll. So move number 4, look at your real week. Find the 30 minutes hiding in it and put your channel there. The time was never missing. It was just never spoken for. And now let me show you what those stolen 30 minutes actually turned into. Real numbers on the screen right now. So let us come back to the numbers because I promised you honesty. 24 hours after monetization, $7.11. Right there. Today's revenue, and I show you these numbers for a reason. So here's today's revenue. And I will tell you the reason straight because we are not stupid here. Numbers get attention, and that is the game. I'm just playing it in the open with real screenshots instead of a rented studio in a story. And two honest things about this money. One, the ad money is the slow lane. It grows, but it grows on its own schedule. And anybody who tells you different is selling you something. The channel is really a front door. It opens to everything else that you build. And number two, remember when somebody says a first YouTube check is only $200, only $200 is a car payment. Only $200 is the light bill with room left over. Only $200 is grocery. Only $200 is probably gas for, well, 2 weeks now. The word only is doing a lot of lying in that sentence. $7.11 was never the point. The point was that a machine I built with a phone at 51 in my house, it started paying me, and it has not stopped since. So you do not disrespect a seed for not being a tree yet. All right, so here are the 4 moves small enough for you to carry out of here. Number 1, use what you already have. The gear was never the price of entry. The decision was. Number 2, start before you feel ready. Your day 1 has one job: to exist. Ugly here is allowed. Number 3, stop grading yourself against somebody else's 25 years of experience. One thing, 1%, and then next video. Number 4, no one is coming to save you. And that is good news. Find the 30 minutes. They are there. But let me tell you what this money is actually for, because it was never really about the $800. For 30 years, I lived with this feeling that my best was never good enough, because you work more, you make less. You get more tired. And then the goalpost, it keeps moving. And I remember asking myself, so when exactly do I get to have a life? At 65 years old? When I retire? Is that the plan? At 50 years old, your priorities change. Your eyes change. Actually, your eyes open. And I looked at that hustle culture, that grind till you die energy, that you will sleep when you die. And I said, no, this is not for me. I did not want a comeback to what I had. I wanted my life back. Time that belongs to me. Work that builds something that I own. Money that comes in while I sleep. So my daylight, it can belong to my actual life. That is what this channel is funding. It's not funding a lifestyle, it's funding a life. And if that is what you want to, then stop saying only about your beginning. Start ugly. Start small. Start at 50 years old, at 60 years old, at whatever number you woke up with today. Because a before, my friend, is just an after that had the nerve to get started. And that is the second birth. Now, if today is your day 1, I made you something free. It is called Press, Record, Ready. It is a workbook that gets you from thinking about it to actually ready to record. You have your gear sorted, your phone figured out, your first decisions made, and it comes with a little tool that turns one fact about your life into your first 5 video ideas. The link is in the description, so go get it. It costs you nothing but your email address. And then tell me in the comments, what is your day 1 date? Write the actual date. Put it where we all can see it, because a date that you wrote in public is a promise with witnesses. And I read every single one. All right. So if we've never met, I'm Webley, and I will meet you back here tomorrow.